My brother is going through a divorce right now. He's been living with my mom, dad and me, and my parents helped him come up with money to get a lawyer. I know it's been a rough time for him. When he met with the lawyer for the first time, he found out that you can't get alimony in a divorce if there was infidelity. As in, the law forbids it and there's no exception. It doesn't matter if you stayed home with your kid for over 20 years like my brother or never worked. My sister-in-law is an architect and she makes bank. My brother thought he would get alimony, but he was dumb enough to cheat on her. He also found out that he is not able to claim any part of the house because she owned it outright before they got married. Both of these he wasn't expecting, and he was obviously upset when he got back from his first visit with the lawyer. When he told me the law will deny him alimony, I laughed and my parents chewed me out over it. It probably was the wrong reaction, but he was so confident he would be able to get a big payment and half or all of the house. He will get some money from their savings, but nowhere near what he thought, and most of it will get eaten up by legal fees. He has been knocked down several pegs and completely screwed himself over. Am I the idiot because I laughed? Was it like kicking him when he was down? He has no work history or money of his own to fall back on. I know it's been rough for him, and he's struggling with what to tell my niece as well. It was almost an involuntary reaction because I just couldn't believe it. Info: was your brother a stay-at-home dad? Did they decide he would stay home or was he lazy and mooching off her? He was definitely an idiot for cheating, but if he gave up his job to take care of the kids, he does deserve something, maybe not the house or a huge alimony, but it is a sacrifice to be a SAHP. Stayed home with your kid for over 20 years like my brother. He stayed home from when my niece was born. She graduated college in June and just turned 23. She lived at home until her college graduation. I agree with you, but the law is what the law is. I'm torn on this. I am someone who has an inappropriate, reflexive laugh reaction to highly emotional news. It seriously sucks. However, uncontrollable or not, it does make already upset people feel worse. Also, he obviously screwed up by cheating. That's a no-brainer. But does he deserve to get nothing after staying home to raise his daughter in lieu of a paying job? I don't think so. I feel if the roles were reversed, much fewer folks would be saying he got what he deserved. Not the idiot. He had a life where his wife provided the home and the income, and he decided to destroy it by cheating on his wife and expected to walk away with her hard-earned money. Him pouting over the reality of having to deal with the consequences of his own stupidity is laughable. Not the idiot. Cheaters deserve to be laughed at. Brother is realizing his side piece will leave once she learns he doesn't have any money. Lol. See, laughing is a natural reaction to cheaters getting their just desserts. Reminds me of that one post where the guy cheated on his wife with, I think, his secretary, but his wife was the one with all the money. Ended up getting the side chick pregnant, lost his wife and everything he had. Not even his daughters want anything to do with him. The wife later got remarried, and he tried to say she was probably having an affair with the dude because of how soon they got married after the divorce. Lol. Not the idiot. It is funny, hilarious actually. He tried to screw his ex-wife over first. He thought he would get money and a house from her, but he screwed around and found out the hard way. Now he has nothing. Like he actually thought he could take her house, the house she had before they even got married. The entitlement that he has is astounding. I mean, a lot of people who browse this sub think that a partner should get partial ownership over their partner's house if they move in and help pay bills for a few months. It's not that far-fetched to believe that the future ex-husband in this story thought something similar would pass in real life. I agree, though it really is funny. I got the idea a few weeks ago to prank my friends by pretending to be an appletarian, meaning somebody who only eats food products that are derived from apples and would only drink apple juice or apple cider. I told them all that I had read on the internet that eating only apples was the healthiest thing for you. When I first told them, they thought I was joking, but they underestimated how committed I would be to a joke. So, whenever in the presence of one of my friends or friend of friends, coworkers, etc., who knew them, I was very careful to only be seen eating apples or drinking apple juice cider. Apples whole, apples diced, applesauce, the inside of an apple pie, baked apples, candy apples with the chocolate shaved off, etc. Finally, after about a week, they bought that I had become an appletarian. They started giving me information about how unhealthy it was to only eat apples and growing increasingly exasperated by it. Some of them even got angry. But I wanted to stick with the joke. Finally, after the end of 3 weeks, I walked into what I was told was a movie night but was actually an intervention for me. They were all super concerned about my well-being and had all sorts of information or whatever. Finally, I started laughing hysterically. They were confused as hell, so I told them I had been faking it the whole time and had been eating real meals outside of their knowledge. I even took out some beef jerky from my pant pocket to prove it and munched it. I thought they'd appreciate the joke, but they were actually really annoyed. My girlfriend even broke up with me over this because a few days ago I had ruined our date night when I told the waiter I only wanted apples because I was an appletarian and had embarrassed her for a dumb joke. In my opinion, the joke was solid and they should appreciate my commitment to the prank. But did I go too far? No idiots here. I may be in a minority, but I think this is funny as hell. I feel like your girlfriend overreacted, but maybe in the future, include your girlfriend in the said prank. When I mention including a girlfriend in the prank, I mean either his now ex if they get back together or any future girlfriends. Not the idiot, absolute legend. That level of commitment is on par with the method acting of Daniel Day-Lewis. Thanks for the late night laugh. You're the idiot? Probably. Seems like you must have gone too far since people got genuinely worried for you and your GF broke up with you. Personally, I admire your commitment to the joke. Then again, I once made a friend cry because she never knew when to worry and when not to because another friend and I would always make stuff up. Turns out it is probably better to be kind to others and consider their feelings than to feel awesome about the pranking. Long story short, my family, 35M, 12M, 10M, and I, 32F, just recently moved into a new apartment complex. Our unit is at the very back of the building, at the back of the property, so behind us is just a wooded area, nobody lives there. At the very back of our unit and the one across from ours is a small balcony that faces out towards this wooded area. Because of the way the building is constructed, you can't see onto another person's balcony unless you go to the stairs and lean over the railing, otherwise the wall blocks you. Across from our unit is a family of 4, a young-looking mother, her husband, and their 2 children, who are both under the age of 2. I haven't had the chance to introduce myself because I think one of their babies is a newborn, and honestly mama seems exhausted. Anyway, a couple of nights ago, I made a horrific discovery. Went outside to call the boys in for dinner and found them both with their upper bodies flung over the railing, staring into our neighbor's balcony. I grabbed both by their pants and asked them just what they think they're doing, and that's when I see it. From their vantage point, they could see straight into the neighbor lady's balcony, where she was sitting completely topless, with underwear on listening to headphones. I was livid. Not with her, but with the boys. The way I see it, she's on her own personal property, where no one is supposed to be able to see, and not drawing any attention to herself. Plus, if she's breastfeeding, I get not having a top or bra on. It's tedious to remove every few hours and for every feeding in between. And who wears pants in their own house? Anyway, I digress. I pulled the boys into the house and took away their video games and phones until further notice and told my husband immediately when he got home. But surprisingly, he was mad at me. Saying boys would be boys and the lady should have some decency to wear clothes outside and asked me to speak to her about it. I ripped him a new one and spent the night on the couch, after which he apologized, but the boys still seem upset with me. Am I the idiot for punishing them, but not saying anything to the neighbor? Not the idiot, good for you. Your husband is out of line and frankly acting in a manner that could give your sons the idea that it's okay to just get from women without respect for personal boundaries, whether it's looking or worse. Plus parenting from you, and thank you for respecting your neighbor. Not the idiot. Boys will be boys, I'm sorry, what century is your husband living in? As you said, that woman was on her own property. Not only are you not the idiot for doing some good parenting, but you're also not the idiot because you didn't sexualize this woman. Your husband, on the other hand, could afford to learn a bit. Not the idiot. I would have reacted the same way. I would also have a long talk with my son about privacy and gender equality. And engorgement hurts. Especially at the tail end of breastfeeding.